I use a splint, an AFO splint, because I cannot walk without it. And it has to be specially made for me. It can't be an off-the-shelf one. I use a cane, and I use motorized scooters. I use my electric scooters to work. If I did not have them, I could not work. If they're not functionally run, if they do not run correctly, I can't use them. And if they were not here, I wouldn't have anybody to help me get them fixed in a short period of time. The short period of time is the mandate. It has to be done quickly, and they do it as fast as they can. Everything. There's not any doubt in my mind that if these people were not here to serve me in this community, I would never get what I do done. My family and them, that makes the difference. Excuse me, makes me say it.
No, you're fine.
Means I can't work because I can't walk enough and carry charts at the same time. And I can't walk enough to get that many charts. It would be a drastic problem because, number one, I wouldn't have time to get there. Number two, it wouldn't do me any good to get there because after I did the 500 miles, which is what, 2.5 hours, just to get there, then you got 2.5 hours to get home. That's 5 hours a day. When do you work? When do you do something else? And it really puts a bind on my facilities because they need a social worker there. How would I feel if I'm forced to change providers? I would be very resentful. And I would probably be very, there's another word, I'm trying to give you a really good one. Angry is a really good word. I'd be very angry and resentful. It would make me not want to pay any taxes anymore. And I've always paid my taxes. I put in a lot of money into the income tax and the Social Security system. I really feel like they're really depriving me of the services I've worked for all my life. Because they serve the individual, not a large community. Each person is served individually for what their needs are, not as a collective group. You know, when you do something collectively, it's not fair to everybody because it might fit that person, but it's not going to fit everybody. 1 out of 100 maybe it'll fit. I need to be served individually because my individual needs are different than everybody else's. I am a handicapped that can walk a little. Some people cannot walk at all. Some people cannot stand up without help. Fortunately, I've been able to do all those things to a point. I have a number of special circumstances, but the one that's the most recent is I was going to a doctor's office to get a test for a heart specialist. My lift would not go down, so I could not unload my scooter. I walked, but it barely did. I would ask somebody if they could give me a wheelchair. I never got the wheelchair. But the gentleman from here came and got my car and helped me get my lift down and fixed. Now, how many times will people for 100 miles from here do that for you? They're not going to. How many times will they come to the facility where I'm working and get my scooter because it stopped running? I don't know what we're going to do when we cannot get our local vendors to be able to supply us. We're really going to do without, and maybe that's the object. I'm not too sure that that's not their reasoning, was that if we can't get to the services, we're just a private service. They won't have to pay the services. That's the way it makes me feel. And I really think that's what they're trying to do, is deprive us of services because most of these people will not be able to get them. Either they don't have phones that they can call somebody, or there's nobody to call that's going to serve them like Walson's does. But to people that are in the business is what makes the business, and this one's special.